You know it. The hot and cold behavior. The mixed signals, the emotional. Manipulation disguised as just being honest. You can feel it in your gut that something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on what she's doing. Here's the truth. As a woman who's played every game in the book, we have a playbook, strategies we use to keep you confused, chasing, and emotionally invested. But I'm about to expose every single tactic and give you the exact counter moves to outsmart us at our own game. Because once you know our strategies, we lose all power over you forever. Recognize the game. Before you can outsmart the game, you have to recognize you're in 1. Here's how you know she's playing games instead of genuinely connecting. Inconsistent communication. She's warm and loving one day, cold and distant the next, with no explanation for the shift. Emotional roller coaster. You feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, never knowing which version of her you'll get. Confusion by design. Every time you think you understand where you stand, she does something that makes you question everything again. Attention economy. She gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to feel secure. The key insight: healthy relationships don't feel like puzzles you need to solve. If you're constantly trying to decode her behavior, figure out her mood, or walk on eggshells to avoid setting her off, you're not in a relationship. You're in a psychological experiment, and you're the test subject. Research shows that intermittent reinforcement, random rewards mixed with punishment, creates the strongest addiction patterns in the human brain. We know this, and some of us use it deliberately. But here's what she doesn't expect: you recognizing the pattern and refusing to play along. But first, you need to know exactly which game she's playing. Spot the games. Spot the games. Let me expose the 3 most common games we play so you can recognize them immediately. The jealousy game. I mention my ex, talk about other guys hitting on me, or post photos with male friends just to see your reaction. Real example: my coworker took me to lunch today. He's so funny and successful. What we're really saying: react, show me you care, prove you're worried about losing me. The withdrawal game. I go cold after being warm, ignore your texts, cancel plans, or become mysteriously distant. Real example: amazing date on Friday. Then I take 8 hours to reply to your good morning text on Saturday. What we're really doing: creating artificial scarcity to make you chase and prove your interest. The guilt game. I remind you of everything I've done for you, make you feel bad for having boundaries, or play the victim when you don't comply. Real example: after everything I've done for you, you can't even change your plans for me. What we're really doing: using emotional debt to manipulate your decisions. I've played all 3 games. I once mentioned my ex 4 times in one conversation just to watch a guy's face change. I've gone from loving texts to complete silence overnight just to see him panic and double text me. I've guilt men into canceling plans with friends by saying, I guess your boys are more important than me. And it worked every time until I met men who could see right through it. Recognizing these games is step 1, but knowing how to psychologically destroy them, that's where the real power lies. Emotional immunity. Emotional immunity. Way. Number 1. Don't react to her mood swings. When she's having an emotional episode, your instinct is to fix it, calm her down, or ask what's wrong. Here's exactly what to do. Instead, wrong response. What's wrong? How can I help? Please talk to me. Right response. I can see you're upset. Let me know when you're ready to talk calmly. Then you walk away. Neurologically, this breaks the intermittent reinforcement cycle that creates emotional addiction. When you don't feed her emotional chaos with your reaction, she loses the dopamine hit she gets from controlling your state. I used to create dramatic scenes just to see men scramble to comfort me. The power rush was intoxicating. But when a man stayed completely calm and refused to engage with my drama, it left me feeling empty and foolish. Way number 2, use the broken record technique. When she tries to argue, guilt trip, or manipulate you into changing your boundaries, repeat the same response to her. But I really need you to cancel your plans. Don't you care about me? I understand you're upset, but I'm not changing my plans. You're being so selfish after everything we've been through. I hear what you're saying. But my answer is she tries to shame you. Or make you feel guilty. Don't defend yourself. Amplify her criticism instead. Here are exact scripts. You're so selfish for going out with your friends. Wrong. Response. I'm not selfish. I barely see them. You're being unreasonable. Right response. You're absolutely right. I'm probably the most selfish person you'll ever meet. I should warn you about that. Huh. You don't care about me at all, right? Response. You figured me out. I'm completely heartless. I'm surprised it took you this long to notice. This psychological technique is called negative agreement, and it's completely disarms manipulation. We use shame because we expect you to defend yourself, giving us more ammunition. When you own what we're trying to use against you, we have nowhere to go. I once told a guy he was emotionally unavailable, trying to make him prove he cared. His response, that's the nicest thing anyone said about me today. I work hard to maintain my emotional distance. I was so stunned. I didn't know how to respond. Weigh them. Seth preemptive strikes beat her to the punch by saying what she's thinking, before she can use it against you before going out with friends. I know you're probably going to be upset about me going out tonight, but I'm still going. Before making a decision, she won't. Like, I realize this might trigger some drama, but that's not going to change my decision. Before setting a boundary, you're probably going to give me the silent treatment after I say this, but I need you to stop calling me during work hours. Psychologically, this prevents emotional hijacking by acknowledging and dismissing her potential reactions before she can use them. You're showing her that you see her patterns and you're not afraid of her emotional responses. When I tried to manipulate men who used these techniques, it felt like they could read my mind, like they knew my playbook better than I did. It was extremely unsettling because I couldn't find any psychological leverage. But even reverse psychology has its limits. Because when she realizes you can see through her surface games, she'll escalate. That's when you need the nuclear options. Nuclear options. Nuclear options. Way number 7. Call out the game directly when she's clearly playing games. Don't pretend you don't see it. Here are exact scripts for calling out each game. The jealousy game. My ex texted me today. He wants to get coffee to catch up you. It sounds like you're trying to make me jealous. I don't play those games. The withdrawal game. Goes cold after being warm, ignoring your texts. I noticed you've gone distant. If you're testing me to see if I'll chase, that's not going to happen. The guilt game. After everything I've done for you, you can't even cancel your plans. This feels like emotional manipulation. We can talk when you're ready to communicate directly. Most men are too afraid to call out game playing directly because they don't want to rock the boat, but calling it out immediately neutralizes its power. We rely on you not recognizing or acknowledging our manipulation. When you shine a light on it, we can't pretend it's not happening. I remember the first time a man called out my jealousy game directly. I mentioned another guy to make him jealous and he just said, "That's an interesting tactic. Are you trying to make me jealous?" I felt so exposed and embarrassed that I never tried it again with him. Way number 8, the ultimate power move. Walk away. This is the nuclear option that every game playing woman fears most. When her behavior becomes consistently manipulative, you don't fight it. You don't argue about it. You just leave. This dynamic isn't healthy for either of us. I'm going to step back and give us both some space to think. Then you actually do it. No negotiation, no explanation, no second chances. You remove yourself from the game board entirely. This is devastating to us because our entire strategy relies on you staying engaged. We can manipulate engagement. We can't manipulate absence. I have seen the strongest, most confident women completely panic when a man actually walked away from their games. One friend of mine was so shocked when her boyfriend left instead of fighting that she called me crying. He just left. I don't know what to do. Because suddenly all our psychological tactics became useless. You can't play games with someone who refuses to play. But walking away is just one nuclear option. There are 2 more psychological weapons that will make her completely Rethink everything she thought she knew. Master level about men. Master level way. Number 9, emotional detachment. This is the most advanced technique. Maintaining emotional distance while still being present. You're kind but not invested. You're pleasant but not attached. You care but not enough to compromise yourself. You interact with her the same way you'd interact with a coworker. Professional. Respectful, but emotionally neutral. This drives game-playing women absolutely insane because we need your emotional investment to manipulate you. If you're not emotionally invested, you can't be emotionally manipulated. You become like water. We can't grab onto you. We can't control you. We can't break you. Way 2. Become genuinely indifferent. This is the ultimate level when you genuinely stop caring about the outcome. Not pretending you don't care. Actually, not caring. You're happy if she stays. You're fine if she goes. You enjoy her company when she's being reasonable. You remove yourself when she's not. You don't need her validation, her attention, or her approval. You want good treatment, but you don't need it from her specifically. This level of genuine indifference is kryptonite to women who play games. Because our entire strategy depends on you caring more than we do. When that dynamic flips, when you genuinely care less, we lose all leverage. And often, this is when we either grow up and start communicating honestly, or we remove ourselves from your life because we can't get what we wanted. Either way, you win. But there's one final truth about gameplay women that will change everything about how you see these situations. Deeper truth. The deeper truth. Here's what I need you to understand about women who play games. We're not evil. We're scared. Most game playing comes from a deep fear of vulnerability. We test you because we're afraid of being hurt. We manipulate because we're afraid of being rejected. We create chaos because we're afraid of the intimacy that comes with peace. But here's the harsh truth. Understanding why we play games doesn't mean you should tolerate them. Compassion doesn't mean compromise. You can have empathy for our fears without accepting our toxic behavior. Because here's what happens. When you allow game playing, you teach us that games work. You reward toxic behavior. You enable the very patterns that keep us from growing into better partners. The most loving thing you can do for a gameplay woman is to not play along. 2. Hold your boundaries so firmly that she's forced to either grow or go. When you refuse to participate in games, you force us to face ourselves to decide if we want real connection or psychological control, to choose between growing up or losing you. And that's the greatest gift you can give us, even if we don't realize it at the time. The choice is always yours. Play her games and lose yourself, or maintain your standards and keep your power. So, here are your 10 ways to outsmart any woman playing games with your heart. 1. Don't react to mood swings. 2. Use the broken record technique. 3. Make your attention scarce. 4. Never explain your absence. 5. Agree and amplify criticism. Seth, use preemptive strikes. 7. Call out games directly. 8. Walk away when necessary. 9. Maintain emotional detachment. 10. Become genuinely indifferent. Remember, you can't control her behavior, but you can control your response to it. And your response determines whether you win or lose the psychological game she's playing. The woman who's meant for you won't play games with your heart. She'll value it. She'll protect it. She'll communicate directly instead of manipulating indirectly until you find her. Protect your peace from women who see your heart as a toy to play with. Because you deserve love, not psychological warfare. You deserve partnership, not power struggles. You deserve honesty, not manipulation. If this gave you the tools you needed to protect yourself, smash that like button and subscribe for more psychological warfare tactics that expose what women really think. And here's what you need to watch next. My video on if a woman ignores you, act like this. Because the silent strategy is one of the most common games women play, and I break down exactly how to turn it against us. This video will show you how to make our silence work in your favor. Click that video